Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to New Moon Manifesting. I am your host, Jana Grosskost, and today we're going to be talking about the Sagittarius New Moon, which is taking place tomorrow morning at 10:05 Eastern Time, 7:05 on the Pacific. So let me hit screen share, and I will share some information with y'all. There we go. All right, can you see that? Sharon's my thumbs up, thumbs down. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit, just to give you an overview of how this works. I'm going to talk about the new moon and why working with the lunar cycles can help you in manifesting more. We'll talk a little bit about manifesting. I will open up the lines at that point to take any questions you may have about manifesting or the Sagittarius energy. And then we will go into a guided imagery meditation to help set your new moon intentions. And then after the meditation, I will open up the lines for any final questions or comments. So I appreciate you all being here tonight. And as I mentioned, we are talking about the Sagittarius new moon. And Sagittarius energy is very activating. It really stimulates our mind and helps us think from a bigger perspective. It supports us in exploring our options. It's adventurous. It often tries to overcommit. So if you're a Sagittarius, which I know I've got a few of you on here tonight, you may be familiar with that energy where you overcommit and you burn yourself out, or you die trying, right? So that's the Sagittarius energy. And let's talk a little bit more about that. If my screen will work, there we go. So Sagittarius is optimistic. It helps you in seeing the bigger picture. And we have a unique aspect with Chiron. Chiron is going to be, it's actually right now in Aries, but it will be at a trine position with the sun and the moon. And what that basically means is it's really highlighting how you've grown. So as we're closing out this year and decade, this is an opportunity to really evaluate where you've been, what has transitioned, how you've grown spiritually, and all those types of things. So it helps you see the bigger picture so that we don't want to get steeped in the past way of doing things. We really want to focus on where we're going in the future. So it's sort of that learn their lessons, move on from it, and take the knowledge and wisdom into the next step. This new moon is going to be about exploring options. Again, as we're closing out this year, this is a great time to really assess your accomplishments, what lessons you've overcome, and really gain a new perspective on who you are, who you've become, and where you want to project yourself into the future. Because Sagittarius is a fire sign, it ignites your passion. It really fuels the fire. Fire signs always are the ones that are taking action. So this new moon can really help you in moving forward with your goals and intentions. So a new moon takes place when the sun and the moon are in the same astrological sign, and they're only there for a split second. So you have about 2.5 days to set your intentions, and then the moon is going to move off into Capricorn. So this is a good time to look at your astrology birth chart and figure out what house this lies in for you so that you can really set your intentions based on what house this falls in for you, because everybody is different. This new moon helps you feel more peaceful as well as more inspired. You may have very clear thought on where you've been and where you're going. There may be a sense of restlessness that's taking place because we've got Mars that's got a unique aspect with Uranus, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Again, this is a time of reviewing your accomplishments. Since Sagittarius rules the higher mind, this relates to our spiritual growth, religion, how we've transformed in our lives, how we explore the world through, my cat's gonna jump up, how we explore the world and see the world through other people's eyes by going to foreign lands. So this is a really good time of exploring your options, where you've been and where you're going, and what's going to help you in getting to the next level. All right, kitten, you need to settle down. Here, sit right there. There we go. All right, so I pulled an astrology birth chart for someone whose birthday is on Wednesday. Happy birthday. And this little arrow, this is the astrology sign for Sagittarius. So when you pull your birth chart, you want to see where Sagittarius is falling in your chart. Now, these inner planets on the inside of the yellow ring, these are the planets, the natal planets. This is where the planets were when you were born. These planets on the outer ring and the green, these are where the planets are today. So by looking at where the planets are when you were born, as well as where the planets are today, and the houses, this helps you get an idea, get a picture of what's taking place, how the planets are playing together, because they can have positive influences and sometimes challenging influences. So it really is important to figure out where this is hitting for you. As I mentioned, this person's birthday, here's their sun. We've got the sun transiting it, and the moon is right here. Now for this person, Sagittarius is in their 11th house. 11th house is about socialization, friendships. It's about sharing your knowledge and wisdom with the world. So it's an interesting time for this person, especially with Mercury natally in their chart. Mercury relates to communication. So this person could have a very powerful message that they're trying to express out into the world. And this may come about through social interactions and other opportunities where maybe in teaching, right? Because Sagittarius is the teacher. So this could be a really good time to set those intentions for the new year based on more teaching opportunities, more speaking opportunities, those types of things. Now, I wanted to also mention that we have Jupiter and Capricorn that are just wrapping up being in Sagittarius, and they're moving into Capricorn. So Jupiter stays in a sign for about a year, and it's been in Sag for the past year. It's moving into Capricorn. It's going to help create more structure and stability and long-term plans, those types of things. And Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion. So anything that you focus on or where this falls in your chart is going to expand this year. For this person, this is taking place in their 12th house, about spiritual growth and sort of getting to the end of the cycle before they begin the next cycle with the house 1. So Venus is all about love, it's about money, it's about value, how we value ourselves, and those types of things. Because again, it's in Capricorn, it's going to be very grounding and anchoring. And how do I value myself in physical form? And how does that show up in my world? And if it isn't showing up the way that I want it to, then what do I need to shift in the way that I value myself so I attract more of the good stuff that I want to me? So this is just an example of what's taking place with this chart. I also circled, we've got Pluto and Saturn, that this astrology event has been talked about for years. It's going to be exact, so conjunct on January 11th or 10th or 11th of 2020. And this is all about restructuring. This is about you not only restructuring your life, but how are things restructuring around you? How is your day-to-day structured? How is your work structured? Because this is in Capricorn again, it's about social status. It's about shifting that and having things be very authentic. So keep in mind that there may be some shifts taking place. For this person, it's taking place in their first house. First house is all about, who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? How do I express that more fully? So there may be some interesting transitions that take place as a result of this. And we'll talk more about this on our next new moon with the Capricorn new moon. Now, Uranus, I didn't circle it, but it's down here and it's in Taurus right now, and it has some interesting aspects taking place. So it's completely opposite. So opposite of Uranus is Mars. Both Uranus and Mars are very activating type planets, but they're in polarity, right? So there may be this sense of getting pulled in both directions, almost like a full moon. Uranus wants that higher mind. It is destructive. It wants to get rid of the old systems and the boundaries that hold you back. And Mars is aggressive and it can bring up anger. So I bring this to your attention because I just want you to take note of it, that sometimes when you're in that mode of frustration taking place or anger is boiling up, that you just need to take a step back and breathe. And this will help you in identifying maybe what the right path is instead of getting frustrated by situations that are taking place. Uranus also has an interesting aspect with the sun and moon. So they're over here. And this is called a trine. So because this is taking place in Taurus, sorry, I lost my train of thought. In Taurus, this is all about, you know, who you are, how you value yourself, how you value money, your relationship with money, your values, beauty around you, those types of things. So Sagittarius is really, a light is being shown on Sagittarius so that you're seeing your higher perspective, maybe getting out of the ego mind so that you can really honor yourself in this process. So as I mentioned, some of the characteristics of Uranus are innovation, discovery, progress, objective, enlightenment, technology. This is a higher mind of God. This is a rebellious, you know, it really wants to break you out and shake you out of the old system. So sometimes things can be quite destructive. And if we go into the victimization and feel like we're, you know, in that poor me mode, then we don't reap the benefits from some of the destructive situations that come up. And be open to what's transitioning, because Uranus is going to be moving through Taurus for the next about 11 or 12 years. So there's going to be a lot of transitions taking place with money, how we value ourselves, what we see as beautiful, right? Like really taking that step back from what other people tell us is beautiful or our values are, and really tuning into our inner wisdom and understanding what that means to us. I mentioned Mars in Scorpio and Jupiter and Venus in Sag. Okay, we are good there. All right, essential oils for the Sagittarius new moon. I love essential oils because they help us in balancing the mind, body, and spirit. Very simple to use. You can have them at your desk and just breathe it in throughout the day. And it makes a huge difference in shifting your vibe so that you stay in that positive frame of mind. One of my favorites for this new moon is doTERRA's Align Blend. This helps you align with your higher truth and honoring yourself. I put this on every morning, and my mantra is I'm aligned with everyone and everything that serves my purpose and passion. Frankincense, another one of my favorites because it helps you see the truth. Sagittarius is all about cutting through the crap and seeing the truth of who you are, the truth of situations, the truth of how you interact with other people, the truth of people around you. So it really does support you in being grounded, anchored, and honoring yourself. There are a few others here. Another one of my favorites is sandalwood. I'm extremely attracted to sandalwood right now. I've been burning sandalwood incense and using the oils, and it really helps you in honoring what your higher purpose is and really following that path. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about manifesting. Manifesting is an emotional process. Our emotions are charged with energy. So the more emotionally charged we are towards a specific goal, the more likely we're actually going to achieve it. Have you ever tried to go for a goal that you just really don't care about getting to the end result or don't really have a passion for following through? You're most likely not going to ever achieve that. Maybe it's somebody else's goal for you. If it's not your goal, if you're not passionate about it, if you're not feeling it in your heart, then you're most likely not going to achieve that. So as we go through the manifesting process, we want to make sure that we're doing the 3 I's. If we've got any blockages that are stopping us from attracting to us what we want, the 3 I's are we want to identify what we feel. And what we feel typically gets ingrained within us by the time we're age 5. All of the programming around attracting love and money and health relates to how you were brought up, what your family said about money and health and relationships. So I want you to really focus on, if you're not getting the things that you want, really identifying, how did my family feel about this? How did they feel about relationships? Or how did they feel about health? If you had a parent that was ill when you were a child, then maybe you think you're not going to be healthy either. So it's really, again, looking at this from the child's perspective and not the adult perspective, because the child, without the emotional intelligence, was unable to really process some of the emotions and some of the things that people said. For example, money's always one of my favorite ones to talk about because it's easy. Okay, it's not always easy to manifest in physical form, but it's a physical thing that we can see. So when you were growing up, if your mom said, go ahead and pick a piece of candy, and you went to pick that piece of candy, and she said, oh my gosh, that's so expensive, we can't buy that one. Your first reaction is, oh, I have to limit what I can buy. There isn't one of you guys on this call that could actually say to me, when I came into this world, everything was at my fingertips. I had 24-hour room service. My needs were catered to all the time. Somebody was with me constantly. They honestly reinforced me continuously. None of us have had that. So we have to learn how to overcome the programming that we've gone through this. We truly do manifest more. The second I related to manifesting comes down to interrupting. So once we identify an emotion or a thought pattern that comes up, we want to interrupt that and reprogram it. And that's what the install, the third eye. The third eye is installing new programming. We want to rewrite the old programming. If you are truly interested in manifesting more, 2020 is going to be a great year to do that. In numerology, the 2 + 0 + 2 + 0 is going to be a master number 22. Now, 22 as a master number is sensitive to the physical surroundings. It can be quite intuitive. It manifests at a higher level, and in a physical level, the master number 11. So anything that you've been inspired around for the past couple of years, this could actually be the year that you create it in physical form. It is the master of details. It can build anything because it's a master builder. Think of the 4 corners, right? Most buildings have 4 corners. It creates that strong foundation. And at this point, you can manifest anything when you have a solid foundation. If you're interested in manifesting more, I put together a program for the new year for manifesting of prosperity and abundance. You can go to goodvibeenergy.com and you can register for that course. There's going to be a couple of pieces to it. One, we're going to have a manifesting masterclass in January. You're also going to have access to a prosperity planner workbook. This is going to include activities that help you identify what you really value, identify what your strengths are and how to play to those. And there's, like 15 different activities you can do. This prosperity planner is over 40 pages long. The third part of this program is Claim Your Power Panel. This is a live Zoom event that we'll do on February 2nd. I know it's a Sunday, but it's a master number. It's 2222. And as an 8, the 4 2s added together as an 8, that is manifesting abundance. So even if you don't join us, make sure you mark that date on your calendar because it's going to be a magical manifesting day. What this panel is one of the activities in the workbook is called Act As If. And the way that the Act As If program or activity works is you either write down or you talk to somebody as if you've actually achieved your goal. And it's a very powerful tool to program the subconscious. You want to get into that third eye, right? Where you're reprogramming, reinstalling, and rewiring a new system. So what this is participants in this course will have 3 to 5 minutes that they get to talk with me. We'll all be on the call like we are here, but you talk to me as if you've already achieved your goal. Hey, Jana, this is Sharon. I just had this amazing opportunity. We got the Radio City Music Hall that we're going to do our new performance at. It's going to be amazing. They're already putting out they've already put out the advertising. We had all of these people there. you can just go on and on and on. And I'm going to ask you what your biggest stumbling block or biggest challenge was in achieving this goal. So this whole process becomes a very powerful tool for you to get all of your emotions engaged with manifesting and share this with everybody that's going to be in the group, because we're all going to be there cheering you on and sending you positive vibes and supporting you in achieving whatever goal you're trying to achieve. The last part of this program is you're going to have access to mindfulness videos that help teach you how to stay on track with your goals, how to overcome obstacles, and really rewire yourself. So again, if you're interested in our Abundance and Prosperity program, register at Good Vibe Energy, and there will be a link in the email that I send after this program. So I want to stop sharing and open up the lines. I'm going to unmute you. If you do have background noise, you can press your mute button. That would be great. All right. With Alka-Seltzer Plus. You're live. 25% more concentrated power. Nothing worse than that. Okay, there we go. Any questions? Anything anyone wants to share related to manifesting or creating something new with this new moon?
Jen, I didn't have a chance to look up my house for Sagittarius. If you have it handy, could you just give me the number?
Well, I'm thinking you're a 2 because wasn't Scorpio your first house, your ascendant?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be between a first and a second house, I'm assuming.
I figured that, but I just wanted to
So, I mean, that's all about manifesting money. It's kind of interesting talking about that, knowing what you do with, your programs of music.
Yeah.
That, it's sending that spiritual message on a higher plane and sharing, that knowledge and wisdom. But you're integrating your values with it. You're integrating beauty and love and all the things that the second house relates to in the music that you put out. So really thinking of this from that higher perspective and getting that fire behind you will really support you.
Yeah, I've kind of been anticipating it, but at the same time it's a little scary.
Anytime we do something new, right?
Yeah.
The fear is of the unknown.
Yeah, of course.
It's easy to fall back into the old patterns because they're familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a signal for me to just let go and be in faith around it. So I am. Yeah.
Oh, good. And really, using the act as if activities are, finding either somebody that you can talk with that will give you positive feedback, not even feedback, but really spur the energy between the two of you, or even just writing about it can be so powerful in engaging the next step.
Yeah, I actually thought about doing that for my the new moon, what I write down for the moon, and then you started talking about it. So okay, that's my confirmation.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I love those validation moments. Anyone else? Questions, comments? What's coming up with this new moon for you?
Jenna, can you repeat the first oil that you said? I didn't hear which came before frankincense.
Sure, it's doTERRA's Align Blend.
Oh, it's called Align Blend. Okay.
Yes, it's a blend of, I don't know, there's probably 4 or 5 essential oils in it. And it was part of the yoga collection. You can buy them individually now. If you do need help in getting a hold of that one, please let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my mantra is in the morning is I use doTERRA's Align Blend, their Passion Blend, and Rose, Align Passion, I'm aligned. Let's see. So my mantra is I'm aligned with everyone and everything that serves my higher purpose. So Align Blend, and serves my passion and purpose. So that's my Passion Blend. Oh, and then the last one is the rose oil with unconditional love and integrity. So I'm making sure that I'm bringing the highest vibes of everyone and everything into my life every single morning.
It's wonderful.
Jenna?
Yes, love.
Hey, I want to know about the wishes that you make each new moon. I usually do a list of 10 wishes that I want to accomplish, see happen, just stuff like that. Is that good or?
Yeah, that's great. If that's something that works for you, absolutely. It obviously depends on how big the 10 wishes are, right? Because that can be a lot.
Is that too many? Because I've usually, someone told me do 10 wishes, and I've always kind of just done that for a couple years. I write it in a notebook and.
Perfect. Yeah, if it works for you, absolutely.
Also, too, what is this new moon? Because I haven't really looked into it. What's this new moon specifically good for?
So it's about seeing your higher purpose. It's about exploring new options, being adventurous, optimistic, seeing the bright side. It's good for higher education. So if you're thinking about going back to school or taking a course, this is a good time to look into those types of things.
No, I think that makes sense to me because in December I'm starting a long-term sub job for a third grade teacher. It's going to be my third one, which is great. But I do eventually want to have my own classroom, get a teaching credential. California makes you jump through a crap ton of hoops, and it really sucks. But I'm determined to make it happen because that's something I really want. So I'm hoping that if this keeps going well and I pass all my tests and I jump through all these stupid hoops that I get, I'm sorry, the hoops I have to jump through really, really, really frustrate me. And I actually wish every single new moon, I always wish for me to be able to jump through those hoops. I want to pass this test. I want to be able to sign up for more classes in the program after I pass this test because they won't let me sign up for any more classes till I pass the test.
Yeah. Always those prerequisites, right? Well, that's my wish for you too, is that you move through these hoops with ease and grace.
No, thank you so much. And I'm glad you do this because I'm really glad to know that I'm not the only crazy person that likes the new moon and wants to make wishes and manifest.
No, we're all crazy here together.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jenna.
Jen,
It's
a quick
Kristen.
question. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Could you just talk about the moon if it's transiting in your fifth house?
In fifth house?
Yes.
So the fifth house relates to love. It relates to having fun. It's about children. And so, I think about Sagittarius and what the previous caller was talking about, like teaching children, right? Like that would be something that would be very dynamic in that realm. What do you do for work?
I'm an architect.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So seeing the bigger picture, kind of setting the foundation, but I almost feel like the work that you're doing is creating these, beautiful spaces, right? Like people really value what you're putting into it.
It should be, but actually that's what I was going to say is you said, what do I do? Except that, I'm really thinking I want to do something else.
Oh, you're looking for something else?
I think so. Easier said than done. But I've been feeling that way for a while and I'm self-employed and I don't know. I just don't have a whole bunch of work right now, which then of course sets in some panic.
Of course.
But I just feel like there is something else I should be doing or could be doing that would be more fulfilling and better aligned.
Right. So I would definitely look at things that you really love and value, either with the work that you're already doing or just things in general, and how you could share your knowledge and wisdom with other people. This could be a good time of exploring other classes if there are things that spark your interest, because Sagittarius relates to long distance travel. Like it's almost like you're traveling to these places with beautiful architecture and doing it as a like as a college study abroad program, right, for architects or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But it's really about using your imagination with this and being open to the possibilities. And think about, as things, you talk about things or you're talking with other people, what things really spark you. And because it feels like you're just really bored, right? And it's like, there's no passion there. And this needs to be something that you're very passionate about.
Yeah, that really makes sense, because it would be that I'm really kind of bored and it doesn't really spark a whole lot of passion. And if you were to say, what sparks my interest or whatever, it'd be stuff like this, talking about the energies at play, and or just really engaging people more.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, one thing came to mind, this doesn't really relate to architecture, but it's like traveling to spiritual sites and you doing like all the background history stuff and then talking about it. So I don't know if anything like that interests you, but that just popped up. So.
Well, it's something to think about if it popped up.
Entertain the ideas and see where it takes you, right?
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Question about where your house is for this new moon. Y'all have it all dialed in, right? See if there's any comments. Nope, no comments there. Okay. All right. I'm going to take you through did you have a question, Miss Annie? Okay, I've got you. Wait, let me unmute you. Annie?
I got it.
I think I'm muting it. Unmuting is you're muting.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, love. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if if you can open my chart. No, at this point. I
don't have the astrology program pulled up right now, but I can send you.
I was trying to do it, but I didn't start early enough.
I know the feeling.
So I had an interview Saturday that it's only like 1 hour a week at the moment, but it could be a lot more, I think.
Uh-huh.
And I wonder, it would be teaching nutrition and related health and wellness subjects to people who have spinal injuries confined to wheelchair, things like that, which is extra challenge. And I just wonder, are they going to want me to do these programs, like get the job? And I felt like I could expand the range of classes to all kinds of subjects. Therefore,
absolutely. Yeah, and I think that this one is giving you the opportunity to set up a curriculum. And then, like you said, then you can go into and set up a curriculum for, people that have diabetes or, whatever it is. But it's, it can be, food is medicine. You know that. So it's really about setting those intentions around your programs and then finding the people that, finding the people, the organizations or the people that are looking for that type of work. But yeah, I think it's an awesome opportunity for you. And those type of agencies or people, they talk with other people, so you'll never know who it may expand into.
Yeah, and it's a private company founded by two men who had spinal injury accidents, and they're doing amazing work.
Wow. Yeah, talk about silver lining, right? Like
right.
Setting it up so that you really do.
So we'll see. I hope I get it.
I hope so too. I'm holding the vision.
Thank you.
All right, Rachel, birthday girl. It's
Hey.
the new moon. Okay, so the new moon is actually tomorrow. Your birthday is on Wednesday. So the new moon will be going through Thursday afternoon. So you've got that much time to set your intentions, create your ritual, whatever it is that you do to really honor yourself in this process. But what a great new moon to have time to have your birthday, right?
About it.
What's that?
I said I'm very excited about it.
I know, and I was thinking, oh, whose chart can I pull? I was like, Rachel's. I know her birthday's this week.
29 again.
Love it. Other questions, comments?
Happy birthday, Rachel.
Thank you, Sharon.
Anyone else? Questions, comments? All right, we are going to, I lost my mute box. Where'd it go? Just a minute, there we go. Okay, we're back. Be not afraid. I've got it covered. It's one of those days. Mercury still feels retrograde.
Shadow.
Yeah. I don't know why this ended up so weird. Okay, so we're going to go through a brief meditation. If you know what you want to focus on, then as we go through this process, I'll give you a few moments to really set your intentions and think about what it is that you really do want to manifest with this new moon. If there's something that comes to mind that where your higher self is leading you, then by all means, please follow that guided imagery. And most importantly, this is about relaxing, letting go, really letting your inner wisdom guide the whole process. So hopefully you can do this sitting up or lying down. Just make sure your neck and back are aligned so that you can easily move the energy through your torso. Let's begin with a deep breath, breathing in all the way down to the belly. And exhale, release. And breathing in for 4 counts. And hold. And exhale for 4 counts. And breathe in deeply, 4 counts in. And hold. And exhale, release. And just breathe rhythmically, evenly, allowing yourself to settle into the moment, feeling yourself breathe through your heart. And as you breathe out, release any tension you're holding in the head, your neck. Maybe rotate your neck around a little bit. Just release any tension you're holding in the shoulders, allowing the space to expand between the ears and the shoulders. And allow the arms to be heavy and soft, just relaxing at your side, feeling yourself breathe through your chest. Allowing the tension to melt away in your back, your hips, your abdomen. Be very aware of your body, tracing the breath as it comes in, and tracing the breath as it leaves. And feel the tension melt away from your legs. And energy is moving down through your legs and into the ground, helping you feel anchored and grounded, connecting with earth energy, Just like roots connecting to the earth, it's vital for us to connect in physical form to manifest and feel energy coming up through your feet, up through your legs, through your torso, up through your heart, your throat, your head, and energy extending up to the heavens, connecting with the sun. And you are the divine connection between heaven and earth. And this beautiful Sagittarius energy is raining the fire energy down on you, sending the fire from the sun back down through your crown of your head, your throat, and into the center of your heart. And the flames of the fire are purifying you, supporting you in releasing any limitations, anything that no longer serves you. But just allow the fire to burn it away. Maybe there's things that are known, limitations that you're holding on to, or fears. Perhaps there's beliefs or certain emotions that hold you back from achieving your highest self. And imagine that you're standing in front of a fire. And just envision yourself throwing into the fire anything that no longer serves you. Any thoughts, emotions, beliefs, patterns, behavior. Just allow the fire to take it away. And notice how your body feels as a result of letting go. And just ask your body, ask your higher self, is there more that you can let go? Is there something you're clinging to? Maybe out of desperation or out of uncertainty and fear. Just ask your guides, your higher self, to support you in letting that go now. Allowing the fire to purify, release. It literally burns away anything that you give to it. Transforming and transmuting that energy, releasing it from your physical, your emotional body, freeing you up, allowing more space and expansion from within. And feel yourself breathe more deeply as you release. Tensions are now gone. Limitations released. Creating a vacuum for you to manifest more abundance, more love, more opportunities, more passion. And feel that energy rising up through the torso, allowing you to tune in to what drives you, what inspires you, what motivates you. And just feel that emotion within your heart. It's like the energy is moving from the base of the torso up to the heart, and like a fountain that's going above the head and out over your body. Just like fireworks exploding, bringing in new passion, expanding your optimism and enthusiasm for life, helping you truly tune into your creativity, your purpose. And for a moment, think about intentions you want to set with the Sagittarius New Moon. And literally planting seeds within your heart, allowing the warmth of the fire around you to fuel your passion, your deepest desires. This is a great new moon to visualize and fantasize about what the perfect step is, what the perfect opportunity is, what really lights you up. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And hold your intentions for the Sagittarius New Moon within your heart. With each breath, you feel them expand. Just like you were blowing up a balloon or blowing up a bubble, with each breath it gets bigger and bigger, becomes bigger than you. And as you set these intentions, you're attracting the resources, the right people, opportunities, right situations that support you in making this goal a reality. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And I'm literally envisioning you dancing around the fire, dancing, singing, allowing your guides and angels and ancestors to support you in this process, that you're feeling invigorated and energized. You may not have all of the answers at this moment, but you're planting seeds so that you receive the right opportunities that fuel this goal even more. And see yourself just having fun in this moment. Sometimes we get so tied down by obligation, responsibility, what we should be doing, that we forget that the joy is in the journey, that we learn to thrive in going through the process, that we learn about ourselves and we allow ourselves to grow as a result of our experiences. And take a deep breath in. And exhale, release. And express gratitude to your guides, your ancestors, your angels that are supporting you at this time. Express gratitude to your higher self. And express gratitude for taking this time for yourself in honoring your journey, your growth. As you bring yourself out of this activity, you may have specific images or messages. It's best to write them down right away so that you remember them. Just like a dream, they can flit away very quickly when you bring yourself back into the alpha state. And when you feel that your processing is complete, go ahead and take a deep breath and open your eyes. Unmute. All right, Sharon, so your name came up. So what came up for you?
My name came up. Well, for me, it's pretty much a continuation of my dream, my passion of producing shows. And also, I saw the song that I'm working on being finished, getting it completed, and just the financial backing that I've also been talking about. So those were the things that were there. One other thing, though, that I did have a chance to work with this week was looking at the shadows, some of the shadows that were there.
Thank you,
And
universe.
and I had an opportunity to kind of clean that energy, which was what came up for me was the prostitute.
Was the what?
The prostitute.
For.
Oh,
That's the part of you that kind of like
know yourself.
attach yourself to someone outside of yourself as a means of keeping you safe as a little girl that's keeping safe energy. So I had a chance to kind of clear that up to release that energy, and I was shocked because I wasn't even aware that it was there. So I'm feeling pretty good about that too, as far as cleaning that energy today.
Wow, it's amazing when we see even the most minute things that can be that thread that really holds us back.
Yeah.
And like I was talking about with the whole manifesting process, there's so many unconscious elements that we don't even know where they come from, right? Like it can be somebody says something in passing when you were a child, and now it becomes this big deal because of how you perceived it back then.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what I found was that the opposite side of that, in terms of the light side of that, is was faith, the energy of faith. So, and I had gotten a hit that I had like still little edges that I needed to really get clear on, that they were going to hold me back if I didn't. So this was one of the reasons why I went into this. And I knew that when the word faith came up, I said, okay, that was the bell right there.
Yeah.
Because that was just what was surrounded through the whole last show. I had to really stand in my faith through that. So I knew that this was
every day.
yeah. So I'm just saying, okay, all the green lights are really lining up for me, and I'm just feeling really good about it. Yeah.
Good. I love that. Yeah, and it's important to follow the breadcrumbs because we don't always see the bigger picture in the entire staircase. And all we can see is that step in front of us, and that's so vital in the faith process because we're supposed to have this be a co-creative process where it's us and our higher self. Yeah. And the challenge is the ego mind always wants to keep us safe and keep us small. And what happened the last time you did this? And remind us of all the reasons we can't expand. But for us to want something different, we literally have to be different.
Yeah.
So it's so important to make sure that we are following the breadcrumbs, the green lights, moving. In fact, I've had so many. I went somewhere the other day, and literally every light was green. And so I'm going through these green lights. I was like, oh, wow, look at all the green lights that are on. I play these little silly energy games, but yet it just tells me that, yes, you're going in the right direction. Yes, keep going. Oh, there's another green light. Keep going. Right? So I never had to stop until I got to my destination, which was shocking.
The other good thing is that I'm getting a lot of numerology hits, especially with 11 and 22, which is not surprising to me.
Love it.
A few 8s in there, but mostly the 11 and 22. So
yeah, well, yeah, a lot of master numbers there that are supporting you in this process. And you know, the fact that you're doing this from a higher perspective, it makes sense, right? That's the confirmation and validation that you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Rachel's got this halo over her head, and she's going so Anyone else have anything interesting that came up during meditation? I felt like this was a really interesting meditation, so I'd love to hear any experiences, no matter how small they are. Velma.
Okay, so I had this image of a moving van in my driveway, and I'm in the process of getting my house ready to put my house on the market. So it was nice to see that moving van in the driveway.
So the tree's moving out, right?
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
I love those confirmation type visualizations where it's like, yep, everything's coming in.
Yeah.
Are you moving locally or somewhere else?
No, out of state. I'm in South Carolina, moving to Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Once my house is
Perfect. Well, I wish you well in that. It's a perfect time with the new year, so that's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Kristen?
Hi.
For some reason, your hand isn't raised, but yeah, your hand is raised.
You know what's really funny is it really kind of is raised. Like I have it resting on my forehead. And I and I actually had, when I realized that there might be a way of like putting yourself in queue, I had looked and found where you know, and was sitting there saying, do I raise my hand or not raise my hand?
Yeah, you know the spirit nudges me, right? She's like,
yeah, I guess apparently. Well, then maybe that means I'm supposed to ask, but this isn't necessarily like I didn't see anything in the meditation. I think it was more what I was trying to bring in or set as my intention, which is I guess for some healing and self-love. And really just I've been dealing with the situation for several months now, the ending of a relationship, which
never
it's just
easy.
not,
yeah.
well, and it's not exactly ending. Wasn't necessarily my choice, and we're just such at a place of like completely misaligned, a lack of communication, and really I'm dealing with a person who is not aligned with their emotions and not being authentic. And so it's been kind of a bit of yo-yoing, because there are moments of authenticity, right? Where, and aligning with how he really feels, and then we'll pull back and shut down again.
Yeah, and the challenge is it's like you're growing a lot faster than he is. And those moments of authenticity are, it pulls you back to that place of hope, you know, because it's like we've invested time and energy into this relationship, and I'm hoping things are going to change. Problem is you're growing so fast that he would be on a marathon sprint to catch up to you, right? Like it would be like an anchor holding you back by staying in that situation. So, I mean, you have to honor your heart in this process, and who's to say that something doesn't suddenly shake him up, but most often that doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm struggling with, is because it is a matter of growth, you know, and healing and I mean, not that I don't need it too, but so much more on his part, because that's where the communication problems, you know, stem from, and that's where the work needs to be done. I'm not saying that I don't need it as well, and actually through this I'm going through my own transformation, and you know, the universe is going to hit you over the head with the same lesson over and over again until you get it. And you know, so I'm facing those things, and I'm facing my shadow side. I guess that's kind of the problem. I'm so deep in my shadow side right now.
Mhm.
And the it's in some of these instances, I mean, he's not treating me well, you know? So it's like I have this voice in me that wants to say, hey, this is not okay.
Right.
And I do say that, but the problem is there's very little care. Like, he's so disconnected.
Mm.
But then we'll have these moments of, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm saying, being authentic in his feelings, that, yeah, it gives hope, but not even so much hope. It's just, I don't even know that I hope we be back together, but I don't want to be mistreated. And so the easy thing would be, well, you walk away. Like, you know, everybody says you just walk away, but that's not ultimately what I want. You know, what I really want is the acknowledgement. I guess that's the other thing I would say that came up in my meditation is I have this fixation on acknowledgement. You know, if somebody does something or something happens, that it be acknowledged and communicated, you know, or I won't let it go or get past it.
Mhm.
And so I guess it's kind of finding that. I don't know if it's something I got to find within myself to not need it.
Right, because it's almost like you're looking for that approval of the situation or who you are, and there's an element of expectation that may or may not ever come. And I get that. I had that with one of my relationships where I just wanted them to acknowledge, and it never came. And I had to learn to let go of needing that acknowledgement, because if they're not evolved enough to give that to you, then you're never going to get it, and you can actually cause more harm because you fester about it. Right.
But this is a very global thing for me, like not just specific to this relationship, like across the board with anyone, any relationship.
Right.
Is this acknowledgement, you know, of, and not moving forward without it, but that ultimately, I'm trying to find the right words. I'm sorry. I guess, like, you know, people who they walk away or, well, I just don't invest myself as much anymore. And I'm not that person. Like, I can't, it takes so much effort to hold back investing that I would be better off just not to engage people that it's not safe to invest in. So I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it's so much conscious effort to say, oh no, don't do that, you know, to protect myself, you know, or don't give too much to this person because it's not a balanced relationship. That it's easier to say, well, I'll just invest myself in the relationships that are balanced, you know, and, you know, the energy expended is commensurate with what I get back.
And obviously that's not true with every relationship, right? Because we don't always get back what we put into it. But there's a way that I look at relationships, and it's sort of like a target. Like, the people in my inner circle get the most time and energy because they give time and energy back to me. They fuel me in some way. And then I have people on the next string out that, you know, the exchange may be not as balanced. And as the rings get further and further out, it really helps you identify people you should spend your time and energy with and, you know, really build that with, versus ones that you do a little bit with and not give your whole heart and soul to, so that you're not giving it to everybody in hopes that somebody gives it back to you, that you're really focused on the relationships that do fuel you and spend the time and energy with them, and then really decide who it is that you spend time with beyond that.
Yeah, and that's what I do, and that's what, you know, I've been good at. I think the problem is I will give over too much to strangers. And it's not, and so it's not that I'm giving with an expectation of receiving. It's more when you sit and you sit in a space where you actually do need, or you need help, or you need to receive something, and then you realize you're not getting anything, but you give out so much, you know, that I will give them, like, if somebody asks me to do something, I almost always say yes. It could, and it could be someone way on an out ring. It could be a stranger. I just, give a lot to people. And then the struggle becomes like you're saying, really discerning and trying to not give out to others. Like, I guess that's the thing. I really need to be giving it to myself. That's why I started with the self-love.
When you
Can I say something? I don't mean to butt in, but can I just say something that sounds like you might need to take a look at the messages for you, to look at you and what it is you need for you, and that maybe you're giving away too much of you to others. That's what it sounds like, really. So that
yeah, I think you're right.
Maybe it sounds more like the victim, as far as the shadow side sounds more like the victim, but that the reason you're being squeezed like that is to get your attention. It's a funny way that I think the universe has of playing that trick on you of squeezing you to the point where you're hurting so much you just can't take it anymore, to wake you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying the pain that I'm having right now is the squeezing.
Yeah.
So that I see, and that's what I am getting. Like, this is about, I have to give to myself. And this is about, I've lost, loving myself and putting myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just struggling. I, for some reason, still, even though I see it and know it, I'm still struggling so badly.
And one of the challenges this is so typical of women, is we're really taught to give, right? But the problem is we've become depleted in the process.
Yeah.
So even if it's, I have to mention in a lot of my articles, creating a joy list where you do something every single day off your joy list that you actively focus on. Oh my gosh, I love doing this. I love talking with my friend for half an hour while I'm having a cup of tea, or going to get a massage, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to always cost you money, but you have to do things that you're consciously focusing on bringing joy to you, and seeing yourself filled up again. Otherwise, the depletion is going to cause you to get sick and really be depleted.
Yeah.
And that's actually the other struggle, is I'm having trouble realizing, or even, like, I would not be able to make a joy list right now. Aside from, like you said, I really love talking to this girlfriend. I do enjoy engaging people. I know that brings me joy, when I do engage, people that I love and care about. And outside of that, I'm like coming up pretty blank. So I'm really back to like square one of what does bring me joy? What brings me happiness? And I'm just really in a space of where there's not much. Like, I'm kind of cocooning, I think.
The simpler it is right now, the better, so that you can, and part of this is feeling unworthy to take care of yourself, right? Yeah. So if I put myself out there, and if I take care of everybody else, then they're going to take care of me. The problem is you're operating from that place of fear that I'm not worthy and deserving to be taken care of. So you're not even taking care of yourself, so why would anybody else? So you're going to give and give and give until there's nothing left. So, the joy list can be something as simple as going for a walk around the block during the middle of the day, or, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be anything that's magnanimous. It's the simple joys in life that you're shifting your conscious programming. It's that interruption thing I was talking about, where you're interrupting your day-to-day normal behavior and patterns and saying, oh, I'm going to go do this for the next 20 minutes, whatever this is, right? And then it's doing that every single day until that starts to become a pattern for you.
Can I also suggest a read on something? There's a book out called Learning to Love Yourself by Gay Hendricks.
That's a good
Sounds like that would be a really good book for you to read. It's very short. It's only maybe a couple hours of your time, but it has a lot of insightful information in there that you might be interested in.
Learning to Love Yourself. And who was it?
Gay Hendricks.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, who else's world problems can we solve today?
I want to just add one thing to that.
Yeah.
As you begin to do these things for yourself, to bring yourself joy and to make yourself number one, you will have to say no to other people. And you need to recognize when you're making that choice of someone else over yourself. And once you start doing those, it's small. Maybe you don't start with your inner circle, but you start with the person that's the stranger or someone between the inner circle and the stranger. You don't tell them no. You just say, oh, I'm doing this on Saturday at 10, and you don't change your plans because someone else asked you to. It's like those little things. I know I had to learn how to do that for myself also.
Yeah, and I have. Like, I've gotten much better. I mean, it's boundaries, right? Like, I have boundary issues. Like, to put it simply, I have boundary issues. So I have gotten much better. I have learned to say no. I say, and I think exactly what you said, thinking of.
It's almost like not saying no as much as saying yes.
Right. Well, yes to myself, remembering, well, wait, don't I have something, do I have something for myself that I'm about to put off for this person? So I have gotten much better at that. It hasn't made it to my intimate relationship. So,
well, you have to be conscious of it.
Yeah. So I'm very conscious of it. I'm working on it. And it's just like, I feel, just even like you're saying, the simple joy list. And when I tell you I'm coming up blank, like you're saying, oh, take the walk around the block, I'm going to tell you that's not bringing me joy. Like, I'm really lost on.
It must be stuff that brings you joy, not me. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't even make a list like of what those things are. Even the things that normally would bring me joy. Like, I love live music. I like to go see, live music. And even that's not bringing me joy right now.
Right.
Somehow I've lost this tapping into joy. Like, I just really don't have any. But that's what I've kind of been telling myself too, is maybe that's okay. Like, that I'm just in a period right now where it's just for right now.
Yeah. You need to heal right now. So it's not about, going crazy and doing big things. It's really about taking care of you. And if right now that means you taking a bath, or you going to the grocery store by yourself, or you doing whatever, it's like honoring that in the moment and not discounting it because of obligations with other people.
And that's what I've been doing. So maybe I'm really just doing the right thing, and it's uncomfortable for now, I guess.
It is uncomfortable. You're making those transitions. But even acknowledging it on that conscious level makes such a difference, because the ego will look at your life and say, oh my gosh, you just don't do anything for yourself anymore. Versus if you do something and you go, oh, I just bought that, bottle of wine for me, right? Or that candy bar for me, or whatever it is. It's really kind of learning to override the ego, because it'll say, oh, you just never do anything. Right? Yeah. So it's really acknowledging and being conscientious about what you are doing for yourself, even if it's the most minute thing in the world.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense, because it is the most minute thing in the world. I'm staying home. I'm not engaging, or I'm not engaging anyone. And I'm saying I just don't have the energy. I want to give this energy to myself. So maybe that's what's bringing me joy right now, is to be taking care of myself.
Absolutely. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. See, I knew I had to call your name. I don't know why. I'm like, I got to call on her. All right. Any other questions? Anything else come up for anybody? Annie?
I did feel in the meditation like really kind of my dreams coming true. I could visualize it and feel it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
nice.
Even though this may feel like a small step for you, I think that there's going to be doors, and it's going to expand your creativity on who else, right? Like who else can I help with this type of stuff?
Yeah.
So I love that.
Feels like it.
Good.
Out to social life and that, growing that, which has been big on my list for quite a while.
Absolutely. So it's nice when everything starts coming together to support that.
Yay!
Love it. Love
Thank
it. All right. Anybody else? Questions, comments? All right. Well,
I have a question.
Yes.
That's not necessarily related to the call. How many spirit animals do you get to have?
I saw your cat.
Are we talking enough to keep in the bedroom, or are you talking a farm, right?
Exactly. Because I kind of identified the spirit animal maybe 2 years ago, and another one came to me. Not tonight, but recently.
Interesting. I don't know that I necessarily think that there's limits. I think that it's like anything, that there's messages that animals bring. Like I'll see, I've had these wild turkeys come up to my front door. Like to get to my front door is kind of like a maze. And I look out there and there's these 5 wild turkeys out there. So I had to go look up what the turkey energy was.
Yeah.
I only saw them for 3 days and then they were totally gone.
Wow.
So, I think that there's messages from things that all kinds of animals and creatures and numbers and, we just get all kinds of messages from spirit. And it's just being aware of what that is. And it could be a part of your journey right now that you have a specific animal that maybe brings focus or insight or, whatever it is. Is there a specific animal that's coming up?
I think that is actually the first time I identified a spirit animal. The same thing happened. It's always 2 animals that kind of morph into the other animal's movement.
Okay.
So it was a leopard and an eagle.
Oh, interesting. Leopards, yeah, Black Panther is one of mine, the leopard. My other one's the owl, so it's taking flight and, right, like seeing the higher perspective would be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Having that eagle eye and the attention to detail.
Clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
Power, fast.
Yeah, the panther. Wow. So powerful. So,
And the last one was a cat also and another animal. So I guess I have cats in my big cats.
I love it.
So I would
definitely sit with it. I mean, I don't ever like to have like linearity with anything. So if I have 12 animals that come in, obviously there's a reason for those messages.
I didn't know if it was just if they were just things that came to you once or twice.
Well, and I think, kind of like our guides in that, there may be certain guides that help us on specific parts of our journey. Like if I was in a legal situation, I could call upon a legal guide that kind of supports me from the other side. And I think the same thing with animals, that they have specific messages based on what's transitioning in our life.
Yeah. I think my mother and I see a fly. It could be the dead of winter. It could be frigid outside. I think of my mom and a fly shows up. Oh, what can I tell you?
Funny you should say fly. I had a fly for like 2 weeks. I said it was outside. Somehow it got back in through the screen. How did that happen? I tried to swat it. It would go like really fast. I couldn't. And then it died. I mean, it didn't die. It's just not here. And somebody
until the next time it reappears, right?
Yeah. And then I had mice. And we put down traps and this and that. Forget about it. But I don't seem, cross fingers, don't seem to have it around now. So.
Yeah, learn the lesson, right? Learn the lesson. And
the place is clean. How are they?
Yeah.
I know. They always make you feel dirty, don't they?
Yeah, it's like, okay, don't eat over here. Eat here.
I know.
Don't
put any crumbs anywhere. Yeah. All right, interesting. Well, wow. Happy birthday, Rachel.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, Rachel.
Hey,
Thank
Rochelle.
you.
And we will have a call. I think it's going to be the Monday just before Christmas. Oh, I may be out of town that day. I'll try.
I'm traveling that day.
Yeah, I got to figure out when we're going to do the next new moon call because I think the new moon's on Christmas Day.
Really?
Really?
Really? I know.
Nice.
I don't know why I think that's a surprise. It can happen.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of crazy, but I'm pretty sure that it's on the 25th.
That's just a recent date that people made up, you know. The
Yeah,
moon-
I know. It is. But, you know, it's ingrained in our heads now. But,
Yeah. But the
It's
university.
definitely on the 25th.
okay. Yeah, I thought
I
it
just
was.
looked it up.
Yeah. So
11:13 p.m.
oh,
Oh, sorry, that's Central Time.
well, I could do a call Christmas night.
We might need it.
I know, seriously.
No, yeah.
Well, winter solstice is more important to me than Christmas.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll figure out when it is. Anyway, yeah, that'll be our last new moon, and it's actually an eclipse. So we're in
Look out.
eclipse mode with Cancer and Capricorn for the next little while, so it'll be kind of crazy.
How does this moon affect us leaving the decade?
Well, it's really about honoring what you've learned over the past decade and how your growth, you know, how you've evolved and changed over this decade, and what you want to take with you into the next. This cat is driving me nuts. She usually doesn't shed, and she's like shedding all over. What you really want to take with you, because it's an opportunity of, again, seeing the higher perspective of who you are, that spiritual self. That, I mean, I look at, you know, our relationship, Rachel, and when I came to New York and taught classes in 2013, right?
Yeah, I finally agree that it's
Yeah, we finally
2013.
agree. We've got a date. We've got definitive proof, because we swear it's been longer than that. But every time we look at the calendar, it's like, yeah, it's 2013. So, I mean, I look at your personal growth in that time period, and it's like, wow, right? Like, you're such a different person than you were 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And imagine where you were 10 years ago. And I've even been looking at 2002, because that was another year, 22.
Okay.
So I realized that was, you know, 17 years ago. But there's so much that's been transitioning for us, either by choice or by our conscious evolution, that it really is looking, you know, 2002 is when I really started being a spiritual healer.
Mm-hmm.
And doing theta work and DNA activation and all of that stuff. And so it's kind of interesting, because my entire business is going to start morphing in 2020 again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fascinating to be able to look at where you were, whether you can figure out or not. It's just sort of looking at the patterns of where you were at then or 10 years ago, and how you've grown and evolved, what elements of yourself you want to take with you, what ones you want to just leave behind, and really honoring yourself in this process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's something as simple as journaling about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that I love about me that I want to, you know, bring back to the surface or build up even more. And that's really why I set up this prosperity planner. The abundance, you know, manifesting abundance was really about who you want to become over the next 10 years, and how do we set that stage now. So, you know, I'm excited where everything is going, and yet I have no idea where anything is going.
Of course.
I know a lot of you are in the same boat. You're sort of like, yeah, I can see the bigger picture. I can't see the bridge between, you know, where I'm at today and where I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, right.
It did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for being here tonight. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll figure out what we're doing during Christmas, because I'm hopefully going to be in Zion's National Park hiking, but we'll see where I'm at.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I gotta go. I have to go somewhere different for solstice because I've got moving, and I just need to get moving. So we'll see where we go.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me tonight and participating, and I hope all of your Sagittarius new moon goals come true.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good luck.
Happy
Thank you.